Why the 1970s? Holiday Inn felt so different. The truth will surprise you. The first thing you saw wasn't the hotel. It was the sign, the 50-foot neon giant rising above the highway like it had been there forever. And the inns themselves? They were identical. Same rooms, same hallways, the same familiar hum, the same ice machine. And yet, 40 years have passed, and millions of people still remember their Holiday Inn as if it were the only one that ever existed. That's the strange part. How do you get nostalgic for something built to be exactly the same everywhere? The surprising part isn't how it got so big, it's why nobody remembers it that way. What made the experience feel so different? And what happened to that unforgettable feeling? Getting a room. It's almost midnight in the early 1950s. Dad saw another neon sign up ahead and pulled over. Mom had the map open on her lap, 3 routes circled in pencil, all of them crossed out now. In the back seat of the station wagon, 2 kids are asleep against the windows, one of them still holding half a sandwich from a gas station 3 hours back. He walked to the motel door without knowing what was behind it. It could be clean sheets, or it could be a mattress that sags in the middle and a bathroom nobody's cleaned in a while. The vacancy sign might have been honest, or it might just be stuck on. He just had to park, pay, and hope he made the right choice because it was hard to tell. It wasn't that he couldn't call if he found a number, but there were no online reviews, no photos you could trust. There was no real guarantee that the place looked anything like the sign out front. Some families kept notes, a torn envelope in the glove box, names crossed off, never again. But everybody else just hoped. A hotel room back then was a gamble, and that was the real problem. He couldn't find out until the door was already open. So who finally solved that? Kemmons Wilson's solution. A few years earlier, another father made a very similar drive. His name? Kemmons Wilson. He was on a road trip with his family in the summer of 1951, watching the same gamble play out night after night. One motel charged him extra for each of his 5 kids, as if a child in the room used up something the parents hadn't already paid for. The next had no pool. The one after that looked nothing like the postcard bolted to the sign out front. By the time Wilson gets home, he's not just annoyed, he's doing the math. He starts sketching out what a hotel chain would look like if it never once surprised you. Not the good kind of surprise, but not the bad kind either. Every location would follow the same standards, similar rooms, familiar layouts, the same level of comfort. Whether you were in Memphis or somewhere you'd never heard of until an hour ago, the same promise. Most people would have just complained about a bad trip once they got home and let it become a story told at dinner for a few years. But Wilson was different. He decided to build the opposite of what he'd had to deal with, and he decided to build it everywhere. So he listed all the basic things every Holiday Inn should have. The list was almost boring in its simplicity. A pool that was actually filled, air conditioning that actually worked, a phone by the bed, ice, free, down the hall, and no charge for the kids asleep in the back seat. Miss any one of them, and you'd lose the title Holiday Inn. One more thing almost nobody remembers. The name Holiday Inn wasn't part of some grand marketing strategy. As the story goes, one of Wilson's colleagues wrote Holiday Inn on the blueprints as a placeholder, borrowing the title from the popular Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire film. The temporary name ended up becoming the permanent one. The joke stuck, and by the time anyone thought about changing it, nobody wanted to. But an idea is just an idea. The big question, what did it actually feel like when a family pulled off the highway and tried it for the first time? Consistency. Now the station wagon pulls off the interstate again, but this time, years later, the door opens onto exactly what the family expected before they ever turned the key. Familiar bed, familiar bathroom. Down the hall, Dad fills the ice bucket before bed without a second thought, and by morning he fills it again, almost automatically. 2 states away, another Holiday Inn, but the same machine, filled the same way, by a man who's done it so many times he almost doesn't pay attention. That's what Holiday Inn was actually selling. Not the ice, or the pool out back, or the restaurant a short walk away. It was the consistency. He didn't have to worry about parking, she didn't have to worry about clean sheets. The door promised the same thing every single time, and it was worth it. And while parents were still busy unloading, the kids sprinted down the hallway for one thing: the ice machine. Somebody unwraps the little soap in the bathroom just to smell it, then wraps it back up. It was going home with them, of course. Somebody else pockets the tiny shampoo bottle, because leaving it behind would be a waste. Upstairs, one of them has his face pressed against the railing, just watching headlights pull into the lot below. Here's the thing though, the parents might have been there for the predictability, but the kids didn't care about any of that. To them, none of it felt the same as the last one. The vending machine had a candy bar, the store back home didn't. Every Holiday Inn was built alike. And that's exactly why people stopped thinking about the building and started paying attention to the experience. Back then, the drive itself was part of the vacation. Hours of nothing, counting trucks, staring out a window until that familiar neon beacon showed up on the horizon. Holiday Inns weren't really selling a bed for the night, they were selling the perfect holiday. Holiday Inn conquers America. And then, boom! By 1972, there were over 1,400 of them. Wilson had promised 400, but here's what nobody saw coming, including Wilson himself. The very thing that made it special was about to erase it. By the early 1970s, families like this one were everywhere, and so was Holiday Inn. The company was opening a new location every few days, planting its giant neon sign at nearly every interstate exit a family might reasonably pass through on the way to somewhere else. It stopped being a choice you made after weighing a few options. It became the thing you simply expected to be there, the way you'd expect a gas station or a rest stop. Business travelers used it, families vacationing used it, weddings happened in its ballrooms, conventions filled its parking lots. The great sign, visible from a mile down the highway, became something drivers looked for the way sailors once looked for a lighthouse. Not because it was beautiful, but because it meant the gamble was finally over for the night. Holiday Inn wasn't simply following America's highways anymore. It had become part of the American landscape, as fixed and expected a feature of a road trip as the highway itself. If it got that big, that fast, then what happened? The truth. Holiday Inn didn't fade because travelers got tired of it or because the room stopped being nice. The strange part is that it became forgettable because it succeeded, because it made itself disappear. Every competitor watched what Wilson built, and every competitor copied it. The clean rooms, the guaranteed pool, the standardized everything, right down to the reservation systems that let a traveler book a room 3 states away before ever leaving home. The expectation we now have of a modern hotel, a clean room, a predictable stay, a familiar layout, started to feel so normal that nobody remembered where those expectations actually came from. The same thing that made Holiday Inn feel so special is what made it ordinary. It succeeded so thoroughly, so completely, that predictability itself stopped feeling like anything at all. Eventually, every hotel door in the country promised roughly the same thing Wilson's did, which meant he no longer stood out for promising it first. Wilson didn't just build a hotel chain, he rewired what an entire country expected from a night away from home, and then watched that expectation stop having his name attached to it. 40 years later, that same family grew up, scattered all over now, living their own separate lives. Ask them about that trip, and they won't remember the room number. They won't remember the exit off the highway, or what year it was, or what the room even cost that night. What they remember is opening the door, the ice machine humming somewhere down a hallway that felt a lot longer than it actually was. That neon beacon lit over some parking lot that could have been anywhere in the country, and for one night was the only place that mattered. He built the same night 1,000 times over so that one of them could become a memory. And then he let it disappear.